Do you hear that? That is open window season, and we are starting another unfinished project. Or sorry, we are finishing another unfinished project. So excited for this. Wait until you see what I'm up to this time. So, I've gotten my work done for the day, and now I get to work on this project. This is like, we painted some lace, but this is like, we're painting more. And this is something that I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands. Don't mind me. Anywho, so this is, don't mind the window. That's an addition that needs to still be polished up. My life is a little bit of a hot mess. It's okay. Was I talking about? I don't know why you guys watch me. It is a couple hours. We've got about a little over 2 hours until school pickup. Let me put this down. So school pickup is up soon, and from now until then, I am going to work on this unfinished project. This is such a fun thing. This is the other half of the Christmas dress that I made for Audrey. It's probably been 4 years now. Who knows? Time flies by and then you realize it's marching across your face. It's like the one line that's stuck in my mind. I wish I could get all of those lines to stick in my mind. If you know, you know. Anywho, so this, I was like, I have some left over and it was so cool and I thought it would just be really fun to paint it. So way back when I started painting this, and now I am finishing it.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes.
Alrighty, now that we've got that lace painted, let's get to constructing this dress. And since I have enough fabric to still fit Audrey, 4 years later, I decided that this is going to be for her. Poor thing has been watching me make dresses for her younger sisters lately without anything sparkly in her direction. So we've got this painted fabric as well as this lightweight silk charmeuse type fabric in a rich burgundy color. So what pattern to pick? That is a good question, my friends. I was headed straight for a more fitted bodice like this one with darts, but I don't know. I was a little unsure. It seems like the classic bodice route sounds a bit boring for this fun direction that we're headed. And then this pattern was right in front of the bodice. I'm thinking that's a sign, right? I've never made it before, which might be a bit risky, but here goes. I'm hoping it fits her well and comes together all right. And seeing that the pattern had been printed on tissue, I was also so hopeful that I could just cut her out right on the fabric, but no, it was nested on tissue. Like, why? If you go to the issue of having it on, like, you're already on tissue, why do that? Anyhow, it's become a pet peeve of mine. And after 4 kiddos to trace out patterns, I know there's worse things in life, so I took a deep breath, but I'm not going to trace this onto a separate piece of tissue. So I'm making the largest size of this pattern, and between that and just tracing over certain parts, I think it will be fine. Now that we've got those pieces cut out, I'm hopefully setting the dye for all of this paint. I am by no means an expert or even knowledgeable in lace painting. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just playing around and having fun. After all, life is supposed to be fun. With the lace drying, I return back to my sewing corner. First things first, I'm joining the organza pieces to the silk. Both of them are made out of silk, but you get my drift. The white to the red. I thought about using this organdy to underline and provide some structure, but I went with the organza thinking that it would give more movement. And I also happen to have more organza on hand, which allowed me to underline the skirt portion too. I didn't have enough organdy to do that. I really just need me a fabric store in my backyard. Please and thank you. And now my brain is kind of going on idle, which is not the best. I've made so many dresses over the past 15 or so years of sewing. Gosh, it's probably closer to 20 years at this point, but yeah, I can idle through most of the construction at this point. However, I am not making a regular bodice dress. You'll see this catches up to me. Meanwhile, I'm tapping into the finer sewing side of life, getting those seams to like really nice, like flat, using an ironing ham. I know, we're getting all fancy over here, don't tell anyone. And I'm even upping my game on these darts. I love that this dress has darts since I'm hoping for a fitted arrangement, like a fitted fit. Fitted fit, can I say that? First, I thread trace the dart and then I hand baste it together. And then I sew the dart closed via my sewing machine. Dang man, tell you what, fancy smancy over here. Oh, and to finish her off, I am tying the end by hand instead of back tacking on my machine. Y'all, who is this? And here comes the brain idling, kind of forgetting what dress I'm making, and I just get to piecing the bodice together. Incorrectly, but man, I am in the zone of upping my ante, basting all those seams together before sewing them on my machine. Sure, it's relaxing, but it's also nice to be in this position to be able to do so. I mean, at least for me, back when I was sewing with babies, the process was not so relaxing. Often I sewed 10 to 30 seconds at a time, turning my machine on for one seam and then having to return back to baby life. Of course, I am grateful for my babies, but I'm also grateful that that chapter is coming to a close. I'm also very grateful for school. School is amazing. So, Day 2 of the elementary schoolers being home, teacher work days. This is now Friday, and I realize the error of my ways. So I'm queuing up a podcast. I really adore this style of learning and taking out all those stitches. It's all good. In fact, embrace it as a lesson on patience. You're getting to exercise some patience. I joined the side seams of the bodice in preparation for that skirt. Oh, this skirt, how fun. I love how the colors came together. Although, I'll be honest, the shade of yellow is not my favorite. It's a bit on the neon side, but that's alright. We're gonna soldier on anyways. Cutting the fabric into halves, then I go to gather up the top of the halves. But something is not quite right. I'm thinking I should stabilize the top of this fabric, so I grab some of this German interfacing. I love this stuff. And Farmhouse Fabric sells 2-inch wide bundles, which is a huge time saver. I'm cutting the 2-inch wide width into 1-inch sections, and it's the last of that bundle. Another one hits the dust. Thankfully, I had replenished my supply while I was at Farmhouse Fabric for their Gab and Gush a few weeks ago, and now the fun can resume.
Just take a look at yourself. Do you really think it's gonna help if you always fighting yourself, trying to forget how you felt? Just take a look at yourself. Can't even be your own friend, cause you're way too stuck in your head. How do you think it's gonna end? Nothing that they could do, nothing that they could say, nothing that they could do to take all the pain away. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't. Sometimes you win some and sometimes you won't. But we could be everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be everything that we want. We could be everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be anything that we want. You think if they said it, then they must mean it. So you should feel it. Somehow you think that you need it. Others' opinions to know how you're feeling, to know if you're losing or winning, left behind or within it. If you're sinking or swimming, existing or living. Nothing that they could do, nothing that they could say, nothing that they could do to take all the pain away. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't. Sometimes you win some and sometimes you won't. But we could be everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be everything that we want. We could be everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be anything that we want. But we could be everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be everything that we want. We could be everything. You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you've tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings.
Alright, so we are done with the beadwork, and I think I'm done with the beadwork. We'll see. But it's fun. It adds a little bit of a sparkle to it, and I also used it to cover up some splotches of the blue. I don't know what I'm doing, so it's fine. Now, I'm looking at this thing though, and I am thinking that this silk with like the burgundy, it's not really burgundy, is it? What color is that? Not burgundy color. I don't know. It's burgundy, but not burgundy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to school and learn my colors. Anywho, I'm thinking it could use a little bit of pizzazz as well. And so I've had this idea brewing of, I like the flowers and all that sort of stuff of the lace, you know, like the design and whatever, and I thought, well, maybe I could take that and put that on the silk somehow. Maybe it's gonna incorporate some beads, maybe it's not. There's also like this texture to it, and I have an idea of how to get the texture like emulated from the flowers onto the silk, not red, burgundy color. This is not working very well. This is not it. Tracing over the physical lace wasn't working out very well with all those little bumps and whatnot. So I'm gonna try taking photos and hope that route pans out. putting those onto the computer, adjusting so I have a variety of sizes, and printing out those suckers, I'm hoping I can get the pattern traced. I'm using my all-time favorite heat-activated pen to trace out the design. It's made by friction. Yes, it's controversial, but what's life without a little controversy? Can you really have fun without it? Oh gosh. Anywho, I do have a video that goes over that. I made it years ago when Henry was a baby. Alright, so I've got this traced out and I'm really excited about it, but it's like a little nerve-wracking because there is no going back from this. The technique I'm about to use and that it's on silk, there's just, I'm gonna have to just dive and hope that it works out how I have in my mind. And not always, it doesn't always work out like that, right? So sometimes you just gotta go for it and we'll see. Alrighty, bring on the risk taking. I'm all about it. Although yes, I don't want to mess up this whole hand painted lace with Swarovski bead combo on this lovely silk that we've got going on. We've got quite a bit of time invested into this sucker at this point, but I am just going to soldier on and hope that it all works out. So I want to mimic the cording of the flowers while putting some more shimmer, like that shimmery texture. So what's a better solution than this silk buttonhole twist? You tell me, I don't know. I don't know of a better solution, so I'm going to use silk buttonhole twist. Now I only had a handful of colors at the house. I've got hundreds or so of colors at my office, but that's just how the cookie crumbles, right? I'm dreaming of a sewing studio. One day it will happen. In the meantime, I'm using 2 colors of the silk buttonhole twist. The shimmer is lovely, and having 2 colors will give some depth, and 2 strands will plump up the width so it's more similar to the width of the cording of the lace flowers. And now we are on the home stretch, my friends. At this point, it's a matter of finishing up the construction while hoping not to bust any of those beads as the dress gets feed through my sewing machine. I'm joining those shoulder seams using the bodice ring method that I love so much, giving that a good pressing, sewing around the neckline, making sure to understitch. Cannot skip that, right? It's so important to understitch, especially the neckline. How fun is this dress? I love the bold color of the silk and the playful colors of the painted lace, and of course the sparkle. For more sewing inspiration, check out this video where I sew a fairy dress complete with Dior inspired sleeves. If y'all have any questions, put them down in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them. And as always, I appreciate y'all for watching and I hope to catch y'all next time.